Okey, baik. Masih lagi bersama dengan kami. Kita nak bercakap tentang global halal industry.
Ya, betul.
Dan hari ini kan bila cakap tentang halal ni bukanlah semata-mata makan dan juga minum. Tapi seluruh aspek kehidupan kita.
Kalau seperti mana telah Datuk kongsikan tadi, antaranya kosmetik, sabun pun juga kita perlu mencari yang halal.
Dan ada juga yang benar-benar untuk menjaga kebersihan dari sudut perniagaan mereka, maksudnya untuk menjaga halal.
Iklan pun sendiri.
Mereka nak menggunakan nak mengiklankan bisnes mereka ini juga mereka begitu titik beratkan tentang halal ataupun tidak platform yang mereka ingin
bagaimana mengiklankan. Antaranya ialah kalau kita mengiklankan itu perlulah betul-betul, maksudnya bukanlah daripada testimonial palsu dan sebagainya. Itu adalah antara salah satu contoh bagaimana untuk kita mengiklankan secara halal.
Okey, baik, kita nak bersama dengan tetamu istimewa kita. We are very pleased to be able to welcome our special guest today. Our brother, Assalamualaikum, brother Maruf Yusupov. He is a Halal.Aid Chief Executive Officer and co-founder. Assalamualaikum, brother.
Waalaikumsalam.
How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, good.
Fine. You are from Denmark?
Yeah, we are based in Denmark. I've been living in Denmark for the last 13 years, but I'm originally from Uzbekistan, the country of Imam al-Bukhari.
MashaAllah, Alhamdulillah. Yeah, welcome to the show.
So this is your first time joining Mihas?
Yes, it's our first time trying Mihas.
And first time in Malaysia?
Well, actually, I've been there last year for a short time, so it's my second time.
So how's Malaysia?
Like it, love it.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, insyaAllah.
Inshallah, we're going to talk about global halal industry. First and foremost, we would like to ask you about the global halal industry. Yeah, as we know that global halal industry is growing fast nowadays. And what is your opinion from this growing base? Does it attract organizations and investors who are able to identify and visualize the potential and benefits of a halal compliant industry? What is your opinion about that?
Yeah, that's as I said, alhamdulillah, global halal economy is growing, and that's good news. And as entrepreneurs, as I'm one of them, when we see an opportunity, we go and grab and try to take that opportunity to make something out of it. Having said that, one of the things we should be really careful about halal industry is we have to always remember why we do what we do, and we should put. I mean, of course, as a company, you do things for profit, but we should never forget the purpose, right? So we should keep things ethical, I think. But having a look at the last in 4 or 5 years, you can see year after year how industry is growing. So it means there are entrepreneurs out there who are doing great stuff. Having said that, we still need probably third parties like you guys have in food industry. They check and verify integrity, and probably we need more of these things who also check other sectors. But otherwise, as entrepreneurs, we're optimistic and we're going to do good, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah.
Okay. And when we see about global halal market as an important contributor to the world economy, can you comment about the role of halal global halal market? Is it very important to show to the world this thing is good, this thing is halal? What's your comment?
Well, I mean, you see, the Thomson Reuters, in collaboration with Dino, they made a report. They recently launched. It's called the State of the Global Economy 2015-16. According to this report, they've shown that global economy is growing year after year. If you just, for example, look at the food industry, food and lifestyle economy, just in 2014, it was like 1.8 trillion, right? It's about to increase by 2020, like 2.6. If you just look at just the food itself, as of now, it's 18% on the global food market. 18%. And probably by the end of the 2020, it's going to reach up another 5%. So as you can see, it's huge potential out there, and there's no surprise that many other big countries are also jumping on the wagon.
Wow, okay. And I would like to share the facts. The Muslims represent an estimated 23% of the global population, or about 1.8 billion consumers. Wow. A very big number, and by 2030, inshallah, Muslims are expected to make up about 26% of the world's total population. And I would like to ask your opinion, or maybe your point of view. Do you agree, from the fact that I said just now, Muslims consumers will represent an important new market in the global economy? Do you agree or not? If you agree, why? Why the Muslim will represent the important in a global economy?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
One of the things, if you look at, again, the data, right, it says is, if you look at the global scale of the economy, it's a bit stagnant at this point because due to decreasing investments, it is also, another reason is the aging population on the global scale. However, when it comes to Islamic countries and Muslim population, the story is different. One of the interesting fact is, majority, you just mentioned 1.8 billion. It's a huge number.
1.8 billion
yes,
consumers.
Predominantly of those populations are young Muslims, alhamdulillah, young generation.
Yes.
And their growing rate, if you look at the stats, is twice the rate of compared to the other global population, which makes a very, very interesting market. And I believe, based on these facts, Islamic economy, in terms of the halal economy, is going to boom in the coming years, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah.
Okay, that is about world economy. Okay,
Yes.
what is your point of view about Malaysia and why you joined MIHAS, and what is your opinion about Malaysia as the halal industry?
Yeah, I think I just saw, I don't understand a lot of Malaysian, Malay, but I saw a couple of minutes ago, CEO of MIHAS.
Yes.
I mean, actually, one of the main reasons why we're here is the MIHAS. Of course, I can speak only from my personal experience, like dating back to 2-3 months, we started collaborating with them. You know, where we come from, we are a very far away country in Europe, but our correspondents have been very, very professional. They've been very responsive to what we did, and when we explain what we're trying to do, they've been very open and supportive, and alhamdulillah, we are partnering already on many scales. They are also giving up on 31st, from 11 a.m. we have a press conference, and we're also doing a special halal event. They have facilitated this, and you guys are welcome to join us.
Inshallah.
So, I mean, I believe, as you said, even in this report, right, we mentioned about the global halal economy is divided in many sectors. Of course, the main sector is the food. Then you have the fashion. You have the food,
cosmetics.
A lot of cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, and media entertainment as well, like you guys do. And all of this, about 60 or 7 of the main categories, Malaysia is number 1. And I personally believe, one of the main reasons that is there is your government as a whole puts a lot of focus on that. And also, organizations like MIHAS, they collaborate and they call like the other countries, new emerging startups like us, they come to place and where we can work together. I believe in the long run, if you want to take the halal economy into the next level, we will need much more organizations like MIHAS.
Wow. And what do people expect when they are joining MIHAS? What do you think?
I mean, I can speak again from my own personal experience. What we're expecting is there are mainly 3 things, right? One of us is to connect with the local Malaysian entrepreneurs who are trying to halal market. Another one is to look into we also know that there are many not only local Malaysian entrepreneurs, also coming a lot of international halal advertisers, right? So we're also targeting them. And another reason is reaching out to maybe Malaysian, also global publishers for our platform.
Okay, Ma'ruf, you as a Halal.at Chief Executive Officer and co-founder, what can Malaysia and global target market benefit from Halal.at?
Yeah, to answer that question, we have to understand what halal ad is. We always get this question, what it is. I mean, in a nutshell, what we try to say is as you know, if today global advertising platform is mainly dominated by Google and Facebook, there are a lot of doing ads mainly. But even if you look as Muslims, right, when we make decisions based on halal, it has nothing to do with our age or gender or where we come from, right? It's about the mindset, what we believe to be halal. And if you look at today the global advertising platform there's not even a single advertising platform that's focusing on the psychographics, why we do what we do. And that's why I believe halal is different, in a different way. So we are focusing on the consumer behavior, in a way, consumer mindset.
Yes, consumer mindset, consumer behavior.
Exactly. This is what we are doing, and we are trying to match up emerging Malaysian entrepreneurs and also global entrepreneurs who are focusing on the halal industry, connecting with potential Muslim consumers by working with Muslim publishers.
Okay, and one more thing. What is your opinion on keeping business ethical and halal, despite the possible loss of opportunities to make more money?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to preserve or you want to keep your principle. To keep the halal and
your
then
product.
your product very good, but at the same time it will affect to your profit maybe. What is your opinion?
Yeah, that's the funny point about this one is I've learned a lot of successful companies. Or, I mean, you can take, for example, Apple or Google or the large companies. And one of the things we think is if we focus on the profit, sometimes we have to make a trade-off on the the ethics.
Yeah.
I mean, it may sound good in the short run, but if you look at the long run, what really beneficial is, if no matter if you're a Muslim company or not, if you focus on halal or not, if you focus on ethics, that's what wins you the most.
Yes.
So
I agree.
If you focus on the long run,
totally agree.
It's about
halal, being halal, is not a question. So it's no brainer.
I think you have to combine it between ethics and at the same time the capability and the knowledgeable
Sure.
the knowledge. So you will gain your principle and at the same time your profit as well.
That's definitely it is. I mean, this is what we do. As I said in the first question you asked, right? As a company, you have to make a profit, otherwise you don't exist. At the same time, I mean, putting the just profit first makes your vision very narrow and short-sighted. And I personally believe in many other, based on the successful companies, those companies who put the purpose and the value first, they always win in the long run.
Okay, thank you so much, brother. Maybe your last word briefly to people out there.
Well, as we said, we'll be exhibiting at MIHAS starting from the 30th. So any entrepreneurs, Malaysian entrepreneurs who are willing to find out halal ayat, which is affordable, cheaper, and more relevant
Inshallah.
advertising platform, they are welcome to visit us.
Inshallah. Okay, thank you so much to our brother.
Yeah, Ma'ruf Yusupov, halal.at, Chief Executive Officer and co-founder. Inshallah, see you in MIHAS.
Ya,
Assalamualaikum.
And,
My pleasure.
All the best. Inshallah.
Pleasure.
Baik, itu dia
Global
ya,
Halal
Global
Market.
Halal Industry dan beliau juga merupakan CEO serta co-founder untuk halal.ads yang anda boleh kunjungi website mereka iaitu www.halal.ads dan anda boleh dapat anda boleh dapat
Without S, I think.
without ads. Okay, www.halal.ad saja dan anda boleh dapatkan segala maklumat berkenaan dengan apa yang mereka tawarkan iaitu pengiklanan yang halal.
Maksudnya halal ni bukan saja makanan, kosmetik, tetapi juga bagaimana untuk mengiklankan dan cara mereka mengiklankan produk-produk halal. Okey, kita akan berehat seketika dan selepas ini seperti mana telah kita war-warkan berkenaan dengan isu militan, Daesh ke, PKK ke, IS ke, militan Taliban dan sebagainya bersama dengan Prof. Azmi Hassan.
Insya-Allah selepas ni.